Assalamu alaikum. May be peace, greeting, and mercy of Almighty One God on all of you. My name is Dr. Abu Abdullah, and we were talking about the contribution of Muslims in medieval time. So the topic was geography, travels, and explorations. Continue from the back lecture. Among the greatest mariners of the 10th and 11th centuries AD, Suleiman al-Mehriji. I'm sorry, this we have covered in the last chapter. Ibn Faldan was traveler of the 10th century AD who led an embassy sent by the Abbasid Caliph al-Muqtadar Billah in 921 AD to the Bulgarian monarch and incorporated his experience in Risala, which is one of the earliest regional accounts about Russia. During the 11th century AD, Abu Rehan Biruni, the celebrated thinker of Islam, visited India, stayed there for a number of years, learned the Sanskrit language, and described the geography and the life of India in his memorable work, Kitab al-Hibs. Regional geography were also written during this period. Famous among them were the description of the Arabian Peninsula by al-Hamadani and of India by al-Biruni. The works of travelers like Ibn Jubair, al-Mizani and Ibn Battuta are storehouses of geographical knowledge. Al-Mizani, who was from 1080 to 1170 AD, who visited Russia, wrote Tufatul Balad. The most brilliant writer of the period is Al-Adrisi from 2101 to 54 AD, who was employed at the court of Christian king of Sicily. His book Nuzatul Mushtaq contains 70 maps. In the second abridged edition of Idrisi's book, one comes across 8 instead of 7 climates which were to be found south of the equator. The word map drawn by Idrisi is one of the traditional round type, and the first translation of his book was published in Rome in 1619 AD. Yaqut al-Hamwi from 1179 to 1229 AD compiled a big geographical dictionary named Mujmal Baldan, which contains all the geographical names in alphabetic order. It was published in 6 volumes in Leipzig, Germany, between 1666 to 73 AD. Writing in the introduction to the history of science, George Certo remarks that Mujam al-Buldan is one of the most important works of Arab literature. It is a storehouse of information, not simply on the geography, but also on history, ethnography, and natural history. It's preceded by an introduction dealing with the mathematical, physical, and political geography, the size of Earth's 7 climates, etc. The Spanish traveler Ibn Jubair visited Mecca and Iraq in 1192 AD. He wrote his well-known book of travels entitled Rihalatul Kinani, which is a unique book of its type in Arab literature. Abu Abdullah Muhammad, another geographer who was in 1304 to 78 AD, better known as Ibn Battuta. The real name of Ibn Battuta was Abu Abdullah Muhammad. He was the greatest Muslim traveler. Born in Tanglers, he started his travels at the age of 20 and returned home at the age of 51. During these 31 years, he covered about 75,000 miles, which is equal to 3 trips around the globe. No explorer or traveler during medieval times had traversed so many miles during a lifetime. Starting from the Tanglers, he toured Egypt, Abyssinia, northern and eastern Africa, including Mombasa. He crossed the Great Sahara, means desert, and reached Timbuktu. He describes an oasis in the Sahara Desert, where people constructed houses of rock salt roofed with camel skins. In Europe, he visited Spain, the Eastern Roman Empire, and the Southern Russia, and sailed in the Mediterranean and the Black Seas. There, there hardly was a Muslim country in Asia which Ibn Battuta had not seen. He made many tours of Arab countries and performed Hajj many times, 4 times. In addition to, he traveled in Persia, Turkestan, Afghanistan, India, Maldives, Ceylon, East India, Indochina, and China. According to him, Athens was the great commercial center in those days, and he had a good system of water supply. He traveled as far as north to Bulgar, 54 degrees north, in Siberia, in order to see the shortness of summer nights, and desired to travel into the land of darkness, extreme north of Russia, but abandoned his visit due to certain reasons. He stayed for 8 years in India as the state Qazi of Muhammad Tughlaq in Delhi, but had to flee to Deccan in order to save himself from the indignation of the emperor. He took part in the conquest of Goa and visited Maldives, where he was made Qazi and married 4 wives. He relates interesting stories about India. Hindus in those days drowned themselves in the sacred waters of the Ganga in order to gain paradise. On his first sight of Sati, he was so overwhelmed with emotion that he almost fell off his horse. He met a very old man in the Hindu Kush mountain who was said to be 358 years old and got a new set of teeth after every 180 years. So next we are discussing the same exploration and discoveries. Muslims may claim due share in the exploration of the vast oceans and the discoveries of far-off lands. But the difficulty is that the achievements of Muslims in this sphere of human activity are not generally known to the world. They are forgotten. The largest collection of literary and artistic treasures accumulated during the 5 centuries of the Islamic rule perished at the time of the fall of Baghdad. The invaluable manuscripts were consumed to ashes by Halaku Khan and his Mongol hordes. The cream of Muslim civilization met almost fate in Spain at the hand of Christian conquerors. Modern search has now begun to lift the veil from the fact of medieval ages, and the achievements of the Muslims now are revealed in all their glory. At a time when Europe firmly believed and in the flatness of earth, says Amir Ali, and was ready to burn any foolhardy person who thought otherwise, the Arab taught geography by globes. Their progress in mathematical geography was no less remarkable. The work of Ibn Hakkal, Makrizi, Istankhari, Masudi, Birunai, Adrisi, Kazwani, Wardi, and Abu Fida contains store of geographical knowledge, especially on this branch of science called by them Rasul Earth. Rotation of the earth. We will discuss about now rotation of the earth. The rotation and sphericity of the earth was discussed and proved by the Muslim geographer of medieval times. The Kitab Kalimatul Ain deals with the rotation of the earth which causes day and night. Muslim astronomers also proved that the earth is a sphere and has a shape like a peach. Globes were commonly used in Arab schools of the medieval times, which testifies to the contention of the sphericity of the earth advanced by Muslims. Geography of the world was also taught with the help of globes in Muslim Spain. Knowledge of seas. Now let's discuss knowledge of seas. Arab mariners and explorers had a wide knowledge of seas and oceans. The greatest discovery of the Arabs was that the oceans are connected with one another and form a compact oceanic world. The first sea route described by Suleiman al-Mehari started from the Indian Ocean and passing through the Pacific Ocean, Bering Sea, Arctic Ocean and Atlantic Oceans, entered the Mediterranean Sea through the Straits of Gibraltar. The other route was easier, starting from the Indian Ocean and passing through the Abyssinia Sea, Mozambique Channel, and encircling the Cape of Good Hope, it entered the Atlantic Ocean. Passing through the Straits of Gibraltar, it entered the Mediterranean Sea. This was the route used by the Vasco da Gama in 1498 AD. This shows that the Arabs were the masters of the seas and possessed maps of seas and oceans which they freely used in their voyage. Ibn Khaldun had started the length of the Red Sea to be 1,400 miles, while according to current maps it is given as 1,310 miles. This shows that the speculation of Arab geographers came very close to modern search. Bering Strait. The Bering Sea and Strait was known to the Arabs. The route described by Suleiman al-Mehari went from the Pacific Ocean to the Arctic Ocean, passing through the Bering Strait. A celebrated explorer, Al-Masudi, has also mentioned the Bering Sea in his works. Among the Arabs, it was known as Warren Sea. Arab pilot of the Vasco da Gama. In 1498 AD, Vasco da Gama discovered a new route to the India by passing through the Cape of Good Hope. Prince Henry of Portugal had established this nautical academy at Cape Street, Winsett, under the guidance of Arab and Jewish teachers, which prepared the ground for the explorations of the Vasco da Gama. It's now a well-known fact that an Arab had plotted his ship to the India. Writing in the Legacy of Islam, J.H. Kramas says, when Vasco da Gama, after his circumnavigation of Africa in 1198, had reached the Melindini on the east coast of Africa, it was the Arab pilot that showed him the way to India. According to Portuguese sources, this pilot was in possession of a very good sea map and of others maritime instruments. Arabic sources of that time also knew the story. They state that the pilot, whom they knew under the name of Ahmad ibn Majid, could only be induced to show the way to the Portuguese after having been made drunk. Reporting from bearers, a Portuguese who was a member of the party of the Vasco da Gama writes in the Encyclopedia of Islam, when Vasco da Gama reached Melindini, a Muslim Arab called on him, being much pleased in our company and with the idea of winning the favor of the king of Melindini, who was in search of a pilot for the Portuguese ship. He, means Arab Muslims, agreed to pilot our ships to India. According to the honored author of Encyclopedia of Britannica, a local hand had piloted the ship of Vasco da Gama to India. He is either shy of association the name of Muslim, which with the much advertised exploration of Vasco da Gama, or is ignorant of such a vital fact which may hardly be expected from an author who has undertaken with the gigantic work. So our next topic is the discovery of America. But we will deal it in the next chapter. Please keep on watching my channel, Abu Abdullah. Thank you.